So there's a few basic tips and tricks that make joining copper pipe to plastic push-fit pipe perfectly safe and perfectly reliable, but there's a few mistakes that people make. So today we'll go over the proper methods of joining these two together so that you get the job done right first time, every time. Hi guys, welcome back to the DIY Guy channel, and welcome back to another one of my beginners plumbing guides. If you want to learn more about DIY plumbing and you want to do your own jobs around your home, check out my other plumbing guides. I've got plenty on the channel, and make sure you're a subscriber. And if this video does help you out, please smash the like button for me, because that helps the video reach and help more people just like you on YouTube. Right, let's make a start. So I get loads of questions in general about plastic plumbing pipe, or PEX pipe, and one of the most common questions is, how do I join it to copper, or can I join it to copper? The answer is yes, and it's actually really simple and really common practice, but there are a few guidelines and safety precautions, if you like, to doing this job. Now there's two ways to do the job. You could use a Speedfit fitting. So if you're using Speedfit pipe, which is the most common manufacturer on the market, then use a JG Speedfit push-fit fitting with your Speedfit pipe. If you're using HEP02, which is the other most common brand here in the UK, then use the HEP02 fittings. Try not to cross those two brands over and use a mixture of the two. Stick with the same brand between your pipe and your fitting. So that's the first method to doing this. But there is a better method, and that is the compression fitting. So compression fittings, you'll see them used on copper pipe all the time, and actually they work really well with plastic push-fit pipe as well. The compression fitting for me, if it's behind a wall or under a floor, I would rather use a compression fitting. So first of all, let me show you the right way to join plastic to copper with a compression fitting. So let's look at our piece of copper pipe and our compression fitting. So first of all, we'll attach our compression fitting to the end of the copper pipe. So take the nut off one of the ends first, and you'll see inside there is a little brass olive. Lay the body of the compression fitting to the side for the minute, and what we need to do is slide the nut over our copper pipe and then slide the olive over the copper pipe as well. Then we need to get the body of that compression fitting and put that over the end of the copper pipe as well. Then we can slide the nut and the olive up to the body of that compression fitting. Just do the nut up by hand first of all, and grab a pair of grips and hold the body of the compression fitting nice and tight, and grab yourself an adjustable spanner and just nip up the fitting. And that is now fitted to that copper pipe. Now let me remove that again so I can show you how that's fitted to the copper pipe and why I think it's a really good method. So if we slide the nut back, you can see that the olive is pressed onto that copper pipe. Now that's never coming off. That is pressed on there big time. You can try as hard as you want. You will not be able to get that olive off the pipe. That has created the perfect mechanical seal, so no water can get between the two surfaces. Some plumbers like to use a bit of PTFE tape. I don't like to do that unless we have leaks. These are designed to not use PTFE tape. We don't need to use PTFE tape on a new olive. It's not designed that way. The only time you'll need to use PTFE tape is if you've got a leak. And I actually have a video called How to Fix Leaks on a Compression Fitting, and that'll pop up on the screen somewhere here if you want to go and check that out. Now if we want to do that up, all we need to do is just nip it back up. Now if we wanted to get that olive off the end of that pipe, we would have to cut it off. It's on there that well and it will not leak. Now to fit our plastic pipe into the other end, there's a few simple practices that we need to follow. So take the nut off the end of the compression fitting. You'll see you've got the same in there. You've got a little olive and a nut. And we're going to do the same again, but there's something very important that we need to do to this plastic pipe to make it suitable to fit a compression fitting to, and that is the use of a Speedfit insert. So there's plumbers out there that skip this step, or DIYers that skip this step, because they don't know that this is the proper way to do it. Now the purpose of that insert, or that pipe support, is so that when we nip that olive up, it doesn't misshape the pipe. It might not happen straight away, but years down the line, after sustained pressure, you might see misshaping in the pipe if you don't use one of these inserts. So grab your piece of plastic pipe and grab yourself an insert and place that insert inside the pipe. Now to join the two together, all we need to do is slide the nut down like we did before and slide the olive over the plastic pipe. Again, there's no PTFE tape required. The olive will seat perfectly and make that great mechanical seal on plastic pipe just as much as it did with the copper pipe. So push that pipe all the way home so that they're seated together, and then all we need to do is slide the nut and the olive up, and do that up hand tight to start with. You can already feel, if you give them a gentle pull, you'll already feel that that is actually nipped on. Hold the middle of that compression fitting again, just like we did before, and do up that nut. You don't need to go mad. It's going to be easier than it was with the copper side, and nip the two together. If we were to then separate these two, we would find that the olive is bedded into that plastic pipe just as we did on the copper pipe, if not better. And you can more or less guarantee that you're going to get no leaks, providing you use an insert. They're the choice I would use under floors or in walls, but their biggest limitation is space. You need to be able to get in there with your grips and with your adjustable to fit these. And that is where the Speedfit coupler has an advantage, because we can just push that on without having to use any tools. So let me go over that next. So there are a few more precautions we need to take when using the Speedfit connectors. You can see there's some marks on the pipe here. What they are is cut marks, so that when we insert our fitting, we know if it's pushed fully on. So if your pipe's cut halfway between two of those marks, if you can, then cut on that mark, and that way you'll know that once your fitting reaches the next mark, that fitting is pushed fully on and it won't be able to pop off, and you'll be sure that you're not going to get any leaks. I have more about that on my push fit plumbing guide, which I'll link up here in the top corner. So what we now need to do, as before, is to use an insert and push that into our pipe. One handy little trick, if you think you might forget to put inserts in, is to count out how many inserts you need for the job at hand, lay them next to the job that you're doing, and if you have any left over, you'll know that you forgot to put an insert somewhere. Again, it's very, very important that you use these and that you don't miss any out. Next up, grab your Speedfit connector and just undo the locking collars. Make sure they're fully open, and then push them all the way home. Make sure you've pushed it in properly, and you'll see that we've gone up to our next mark. What we now need to do is just tighten up the locking collar, and you can now see that we aren't able to push in the collar to remove that pipe. If we want to remove it, we can just undo it, push that collar in, and slide the pipe off. Once these are locked on, you don't need to worry. They are guaranteed, they will not come off. Now I get a lot of questions on my other videos about these fittings, with people being nervous to use them in cavity walls and under floors and things like that. If you use them properly, they will not pop off. You can try as hard as you like. In fact, let's abuse one. So let's put this adjustable spanner on there and give it a bit of a hit. Now the purpose of the insert when using one of these Speedfit connectors is that this smooth edge on the insert here doesn't damage the O-ring inside the fitting. If we were to just put this in, let me take that out with my teeth, we have a sharp edge on there. Now it might not feel sharp, but it might be enough to damage the O-ring inside. And it might not leak straight away, but in time could cause a leak, and your insurance company may run a mile. So use an insert as we did before, and then we'll be good to go. And if you need a handy pair of cutters for plastic pipe, again, I'll stick a link to all the products that I used in the description so you can go and grab some. Now stick that to the side for a minute and let's have a look at our copper pipe. Here we have a manufactured edge. So if you're using a new piece of copper pipe, you'll likely have a manufactured edge at both ends of that pipe that you bought. We can't use that edge. if we use that edge, we will damage the O-ring inside of our fitting. So what we need to do is prepare this pipe properly. First of all, grab a pair of cutters. These are 15mm automatic cutters. Again, I'll stick a link in the description and you can go and get some cheap. Stick that on there and just cut the end off that pipe. So you can see there we have a beveled edge on the pipe, so we're not going to damage the O-ring inside that fitting. We now need to deburr that pipe. On the outside, just roughly do the same. Make sure there's no burrs that could damage the O-ring inside our fitting. Now make sure the collar's undone on your Speedfit fitting, and we can push the copper pipe inside that fitting and do up our collar. And you can see there, they're joined together nicely. We can't pull them apart no matter how hard we try. It's a very, very reliable fitting and you don't need to worry about it. Just do it, don't think about it too much. Trust me, they work. So that has covered everything. You should now be very confident when joining copper to plastic pipe. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If you did, smash the like button for me, because that really helps this video reach and help more people on YouTube. And make sure you're a subscriber. There'll be a little pop-up somewhere on the screen now. Hit that because you're not going to want to miss out on all the great content I've got to come throughout the rest of the year. And also there is now a new feature on YouTube where you can leave a tip. It's called Super Thanks. It's somewhere near the like button down below. Just scroll across, you should find it there. If I've saved you some money today and you do want to leave a tip, then thank you very much. That's it from me. I've been the DIY guy and I'll see you guys in the next one.